Good afternoon, everyone. That sounds better. My name is Ndegwa. I'm the Public Policy Director at Horn of Africa, as have been introduced by the wonderful MC who I'm telling he's got an amazing voice. Do you all agree? Have you enjoyed listening to him? Yeah? Please, a round of applause for the MC. I will be addressing you with the keynote, with the notes that have been shared with me by our team that covers global accessibility. But to first start with explaining what our role is as public policy, because I think it's really important. As I sat here through these 2 days, I have been very humbled to learn so much from this community and just picking up things that I think are really going to be important and vital for my role going forward. I am not only an employee at Meta, but I also actually am a board member of Enable. So this work is very central to my heart and the things that I've been very passionate about doing. So really pleased to see this conference come to life and to see how much of the work that is taken to get to this point. But more importantly, I'd like to share, I think a little bit just the context of my role as public policy, in the public policy team, and how I see this being relevant before I get to the keynote itself. So to start with the team that we are, the public policy team, we are based here in region. We call this region because we cover Eastern Horn of Africa, but we are here in Nairobi, my team and I. And the reason why we are here is because not only are we from the region, so the team that covers Meta work from the public policy side are based here, are from the region, is because we want to be having the same lived experiences as everybody else. You know, when you're thinking about how do our platforms get experienced by people, we want to make sure that we understand, have the local context and nuance regarding how that experience resonates with the things that we understand, the cultures of the people, the way we speak our language, and so on and so forth. So the team is based here in Nairobi, and primarily the things that we usually are trying to do, my team and I, is three things. Number one, to build allies, a network of people who we think I'd say, can support in shaping and influencing the policies that affect the way ICTs are used on the ground, and specifically policies touching on the internet, because our business is internet-based. So that will include different stakeholder groups. It will include government, because government has the mandate of policy making, but it also includes stakeholders like yourselves trying to understand what is it your experiences are regarding how the policies that allow or disallow for you to freely engage or participate like every other citizen are. And so the standards work, which was launched here, was a really huge achievement by Enable and the teams that were behind it, because it starts to provide a framework that allows for those things that we feel would address challenges regarding the experiences of people with disabilities to be tackled. And this is like a huge step, because getting any form of policies or standards written, I can tell you, is a huge challenge. It takes a lot to even convince people that it is necessary, to get people around the table and so on. And I think some of these things were highlighted yesterday in great detail. So I will not go back there, but that is one of the things that we do. So build allies, identify what kinds of, let me say, initiatives or policy issues we need to be shaping and influencing or supporting in bringing to life and amending in order to make ICTs more open and accessible for all. The second thing is to make sure that we are getting the insights that will inform whether the products or platforms that we're putting out there are being helpful, whether you have user experiences specifically, maybe in the case of persons with disabilities, are there specific experiences you might have that might inform the policies we write. And the policies we write, which we call the community standards, for example, in the case of Facebook, will include things that will guide users on our platforms regarding what is allowable, what is not allowable on the platform. In the case of persons with disability, it will be issues maybe regarding how people are maybe bullying and harassing. Are there certain words or slurs, as we call them internally, that specifically undermine your experience on our platforms? We want to hear about those kinds of things. And for me, sitting through these 2 days, a lot I've picked up in learning from you and hearing the conversations will inform some of the work that we'll be doing in seeing whether we can tighten or improve the policies that we write regarding what's allowable or not allowable on our platforms. But over and above that, and I think my colleague Kiran, who's from an engineer with Instagram, you saw him in the earlier panel, did a fantastic job together with the others to articulate some of the ways that we try to build platforms that are helpful or improve not only your experience, but also make it a delightful experience at that. But the third thing we also do is, as public policy teams, is to make sure that we are, again, identifying whether there are areas or gaps regarding the knowledge you have with the use of our platforms, with the rules we have on our platforms, with how you can maybe amplify your experience better. So for example, if you're running a business as a person with disability, are you familiar with digital tools that you could use to leverage or pivot your experience online and improve your business? How can you leverage on those tools to improve your experience and so on and so forth? So capacity building is a really key part of the work we do as well. And from just having conversations here over breaks, over teas, and just chatting with people, I've picked up quite a number of potential collaboration areas I think we could be exploring going forward, and I'm really excited. So for me as a public policy person, before I felt the need to read the keynote address, I wanted to make sure that I articulate that we are here, we are on the ground, and we are here to listen, to learn, to work together, to co-create the solutions that will improve your experiences on our platform. So without any further ado, I will start to read my keynote address and start with articulating, I think, one of the things that I'm really proud of when working at Meta alongside my Meta mates, as we call ourselves now. So Meta is the company brand name that brings together the different platforms that we own, and most of the ones you use in this region, I'd say, would be Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. Are there any people in the room that are using any of these services? I think I've had some of them mentioned, but out of curiosity, and I think maybe just for my ego, are there any that are using any of these services? Show hands. Amazing. Clap for yourselves. I'm proud. I'm happy to see all of you. Okay, so this keynote is to basically just articulate a little bit about the work we're investing in as Meta in making sure that our platforms are accessible. There's a huge team that would have loved to be here today, but were not able to travel out from the different offices where a lot of this work is covered. But we have Kiran and myself. My colleague Fagani was here as well, but has had to travel last night. But really pleased to be here to share with you. So access and inclusion are important for many reasons, but most importantly, everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect and to be heard. Africans with disability have no different an experience to others, I think, across the world. From the experiences we've had shared here, we think, and we've heard a lot of times, people with disabilities saying that they are often feeling ignored, forgotten, or excluded. Our company mission is to enable people to connect and build community, bringing the world closer together. Achieving our mission in Africa and worldwide depends on the accessibility of our products. With over 80 million disabled people in Africa, we must create inclusive and accessible product experiences for Africans. We are committed to accessibility and continue to work hard to improve the accessibility of our products. To put our digital accessibility work in context, I'll highlight global and African disability statistics. WHO estimates 39 million blind people worldwide, 285 million people are blind, more than 70 million people worldwide are deaf, according to the WFD. More than 300 million people worldwide are hard of hearing, according to there's so many acronyms and IFFH. 10% of 240 million disabled children live in Eastern and Southern Africa. Most Africans with disabilities are excluded from schools and jobs, ensuring they will live in poverty. Given this context, what are we doing to improve digital accessibility? So for the sake of time, I'll mention only a few of the activities that we're doing. But first, we have established a dedicated and centralized accessibility team that defines, develops, and distributes user accessibility requirements, training, best practices, technologies, metrics, and other support to advance accessibility work across the company. We've also implemented an artificial intelligence-powered photo description system for the blind called Automatic Alternative Text, or AAT. AAT identifies objects in photos for screen reader users. The 2016 version of AAT could identify 100 concepts like a tree, a mountain, the outdoors, the basic features of these things. And in January 2021, we announced the next generation of AAT, which can recognize over 1,200 objects and concepts, which is 10 times as many as previously. Some AAT users want more than an image summary. We have added a feature to the Facebook app for example, iOS, which is the Apple product software, that allows AAT to provide a deeper, more detailed image description on demand. By March 2022, over 80% of Facebook and Instagram images will include AAT. To make videos more accessible on our platforms, we launched a tool that lets users manually add captions to videos and customize them. However, not everyone takes the time to add captions, and I think we had this example. We had some feedback yesterday that somebody said we should be adding. A lot of users will put up, for example, a photo and will not put in the description of what the photo is, and it's usually very helpful. But Since everyone doesn't take time to add captions, as adding captions manually can be time-consuming and expensive, so we invested in artificial intelligence to automate video captioning. Automated captioning simplifies adding captions to Facebook videos, and content creators can generate and edit captions with a click. Facebook Live, Workplace Live, live audio rooms, ads pages, and ad groups now have automated captioning, and auto-generated captions are also enabled by default when uploading videos to Instagram. We all know technology changes quickly, and virtual reality and augmented reality and more immersive and interactive internet activities are next significant technological shift. This shift to immersive 3D, virtual reality, and augmented reality experiences are prevalent in the next generation technologies, and we've heard probably about the metaverse, which we are keen to be part of building. A set of virtual 3D spaces where people can create and explore with others who may not be in the same physical space as themselves, and it should improve access and inclusion for all. Hence, as we build the metaverse, we must make sure it is accessible. That is why we are working with disability organizations and industry groups like XR Association and XR Access to make the virtual reality more accessible. We created VR accessibility checks for Quest developers and worked on developer guidelines with XR Association and XR Access. I feel like I'm just dropping jargon, I'm sorry about that. To meet user needs, we introduced VR accessibility features like color correction in Oculus. So Oculus is our virtual reality headset. You may have had some experience with it. If not, it will soon be in a shop near you, I hope, to meet user needs. Color correction improves illegible colors. For example, green, red, green, red, blue, yellow. I will conclude my presentation by sharing this video of 3 individuals sharing their VR experiences using the Meta Quest 2 headset, the one I was talking about. We can all see how delighted they feel while using the VR headset and experiencing immersive environments. If we could imagine Africans with disabilities enjoying such similar experiences like those, being able to connect with loved ones, now consider how accessible technology can transform and enhance their lives. Meta is committed to this vision, which is why we are eager to work with you all to make it a reality on the continent. So I will pause there. I know a lot of the words were probably foreign and very wordy technologically wise, but long and short is basically to highlight some of the advancements that have been made from a technology perspective in making it more accessible for users to be able to use our platforms. And I think rather than me saying it and speaking a lot on this, I would love to have those who are behind the screens there to play the video so that you can enjoy it and see what some of those advancements look like in real time, in real life, when in use. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention, and I'm looking forward to the interaction later today, probably over dinner and even beyond, so that we can keep making the experiences you have on our platforms better. I appreciate your attention.